Hey, this is Don, D.R.C. I've got my Propel Endeavor Pro skateboard, and I'm going to change out the bushing on the rear end, the motor end. And I don't want to take the deck off because it's hard, and I don't want to mess up my grip tape, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did it. Brand new bushings, I'll take off the old bushing, put on a new set, and not cut the wires and not take the deck off. So here we go. So I'm sure you all know how to take the drive end off, take the bolts out and all that stuff. Seen my prior video on how I took it apart. So here's my bushing here. Here's my new bushing that's going to be going in. This is the gray one. I'm still waiting for the white bushing because I want to see how that one compares to this one here. The black bushing was super hard, so I couldn't even turn on it. So this one here, this one's 90 durometer, this one's 85 durometer, I think, and the other one's going to be 80. This is in between. So we're gonna go ahead and take off this bushing here and put this new one in. And what I did was I've got these here, so I'm not gonna use them anyways. So I went ahead, these are the ones that I drilled holes in. So I went ahead and made a cut. And you can see that little divot in it. It's a 1/2 inch wide, maybe, I don't know, 1/8 inch deep. So the wires, so it fits over the wires and not, it doesn't have to go through it, because there's no reason to go through it, just as long as you don't smash it. So we're gonna go ahead and trim this one. I'll show you how I cut it myself, and then we'll put it in. But taking this other one off is sort of an issue, so I'm gonna show you how I did that. I use to hold the wires up, and I use a plastic pen to push the wires out a little bit and just pop it out like that. And then I go ahead and I push this plastic grommet out, and this is out like this here. So this sits in there, the wires go up inside there, and now we're loose. This is out in the air like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over. There's just enough wires, and you just sort of give these wires a little tug so they're all loose. You got all the slack you can get right there without pulling it out of the switch inside. And then turn this upside down. Push the wires off to the side so they're one-sided. There you go. And then I get my dikes. Slide them in. Make sure you don't cut the wires. Make that cut there. And go ahead and take it the rest of the way in. Hold the wires off to the side. Okay, go ahead and pull our wires out of there. And there we go. So now it's out, we're ready to go. So we're gonna be going ahead, and we need to put a little piece of tape on this thing here so it keeps it together, so it doesn't spread out all over the place when you go to put it back together. So what I do is I get me a rubber band and put it underneath here to hold it up for me. So what I'm gonna do is get a piece of Scotch tape, and I'm going to just put a piece of Scotch tape, I'm gonna put it on here, flat like that, so it holds them together. That way when you put this in like that, it's flat and it holds it in place. So now that we have that all situated, let's go ahead and let's cut our new bushing. Gonna make a masterpiece out of this one here. We'll go ahead and switch over to another spot on this table, and we'll be cutting this right here. So I just happen to have a silver marker, and there's a center right here. I notice I said go ahead a lot. I'll stop doing that. So we're gonna go ahead find the center of the bushing. So we have, this is 3 1/4 wide, so it's going to be 1 5/8. So it's right here, 1 5/8.
And then we want a 1/2 inch, so we'll put it on a 1/4. We have boom, boom. There's our 1/2 inch wide. Square. There's our mark. And our other mark is right there. There's our mark we're going to be cutting. A couple of different ways I can go about it. clamp it up here. Barely hanging off the edge. Tighten it up.
And you can see where we have our marks right here. We have our hacksaw. So what I'll do is I'll just run it down here, and you can see the thickness of this right here. We're just going to take that part out right there. So we'll just start at this here.
Just go down. There's one. We'll do the other one.
Is a brand new bushing.
So we have that there. And then we'll go ahead.
And we'll start at this one here and cut at an angle. Not rocket science. Skateboard, you know?
There you go. One side.
Once that is cut with the hacksaw, we'll just take our file, a good rough file, brand new file, Harbor Freight, and cleaned it out a little bit. And it's rubber, so it's not going to hurt the wires. And we have our bushing, we have our cut. Remember, this lip right here goes on the outside. There you go. Nice and flush. That's the way she'll go. So now bringing your switch back up into the truck up here, you need to come up through this thing here. So this, okay, so what I do is I get this part here and I get a zip tie and I'll put it underneath, and the wires need to go through this thing. When it's done, it's gonna look something like this. You're gonna wanna pull the wires through there like this. But it's gonna be on the other side. So we'll come down here. It's gonna go through here, like pull it through the bushing or through the, just like that. You go real slow. Just make sure you got slack right there. Make sure your plate is on there square. You have this one here that's a little bit longer, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the slack out of that. You know, you wanna do this so you don't have wires being pulled over tight, you know, not down into a 90-degree angle. So this gives you a little bit of flex room right there. And you push this up and in. And that's where she sits. And then you can take this out. You have this little bit of slack here that keeps it pliable and moving. And this right here, I can pull this tape back a little bit. Keep that tape right there. And my bushing goes right over it, just like that. Putting it together, you know, the same way as you take it apart. So that's how I got around the new bushing. I don't want to pull the deck off. I don't want to pull the grip tape off. I just want to take this bushing and put it on there. So just put a little notch there. Probably Propel is going to come with a new bushing on it. It's going to be new and improved. And what's it going to have? It's going to have that notch. So there we go. I can switch them out anytime I want. Don't have to worry about taking the switch off. Don't have to worry about the deck. We're good to go right there. So let's go ahead and put it back together and take it for a spin. I'm gonna show you how I put this on, because this bushing is taller than the other one, and I have a special way to do that. So I'll go ahead and throw another video on that next. So this is Don with D.R.C.